All right, today on Arts and Crafts, I'm going to show you how to set up a dial bore gauge and how to use a dial bore gauge. So this dial bore gauge is a good dial bore gauge. It's a very expensive one, very expensive brand. It's not new. We've used it for many years. But nonetheless, you can use an expensive one. You can use a cheap one as long as it's repeatable. Now, basically, I'm going to explain how this works. And the dial indicator, I don't have it on, obviously, but take a dial indicator. This is just a non-digital version, right? This one's a digital version. Same thing, digital versus analog. Inside here, there's a rod. So we're just going to draw it out here on the table. There's a rod. Rod connects here, comes down to the bottom. Now at the end of this, there's like a crank bell in the end of this. So when you move this, let's see if I can do one hand here. When you move this, it pushes on the crank bell. And you can see when I move it, see how the gauge moves? Not really rocket science. So inside there, like I said, and inside there, it's like a crank bell. So there's a pivot here. Your rod comes down like that. And then there's another little set of balls in here. You push on this, which in turn pushes that up, so it just swings. It's not exactly like that, but that's the easiest way for me to explain it, is there's a pivot here, another two surfaces here, because it has to be able to pivot up and down, and that pushes up on this. So when you set your size, so this thing actually doesn't measure anything when it comes down to it. All this thing does is repeat how you set it. So you set the distance from here, the distance to here on what you want it to be on your actual gauge. So you're usually going to set this to 0. Some people do, some people don't, just depends on what you're doing. I like to set my min at 0, and then my plus side just goes up from there. So your plus, and then your, so just depends. Some people on plus, some people on minus, depends on how you set it. Now, when we're using this, measuring a main bore, because this is what we're doing, is measuring a main bore. Last video we were talking about main bearings. So we want to check our main bore here, right? Now, we know that main bore size should be this. Okay, that's what your main bore size should be. Don't mind my terrible writing. That's what your main bore size. So that's your min, that's your max size. Now, usually we are going to set it on this fixture. That's how we're going to do it, right? You're probably not going to have that fixture, because this fixture and that dial bore gauge probably costs as much as the engine you're building, or to have it rebuilt. It's not cheap. So you take your dial bore gauge. You are going to need micrometers. So nonetheless, you should have micrometers if you're building an engine. If you're not, then well, you're probably not doing it right. You're not checking stuff anyway. So you have your micrometer. Now, if you know your bore size, which is this is what I have this set to, which I have another video. Go check that one out. What you're going to do is, if I have, need more hands. And I don't have today. Pulling off. This is how you put it in there, and you want to rock it back and forth until you get 0, your min 0 there. I don't know. I'm probably not going to be able to show you because I don't have enough hands. No helpers. And then the glare seems to be bad today too. You can see how it's 0 there. So that's what you're trying to do. So basically you're using this as a gauge. This is the known size. Now you take your dial bore gauge. Now don't drop it. If you drop it, it usually wrecks them. And you put it in your bore. So basically what you want to do here is whatever side your extension is not on is the side that's going to not rock. So then all you want to do is just bring it in there and bring it back and forth and see where your zero is. About half a thou over minimum is where I have my gauge set to. So we're still within spec. We're half a thou over that. And the difference between this number and this number is 1.5 thou. So we're kind of middle of the range, maybe just under the middle of the range. It's not tight, but it's not loose, which is good because, well, let's be honest. You don't want it tight, you don't want it loose. So hopefully that lets you guys know how to do that. We will go in more in depth, or I'll show you doing it a few times when we get into building those couple engines on the community for the guys that are in the community. We're building a tow 12 valve and a tow 6.7. Probably going to be starting that in the next week or two. I'm just waiting for some parts to show up. Anyways, if you guys like this video, there'll be more of these types of videos coming out. If there's something I missed or something I should add to it, let me know. Like I said, I probably will buy, I'm going to buy some, I'm going to say cheaper tools, more economic tools for doing this stuff. So that stuff that you guys are going to be buying, I guess you would say. Because let's be honest, you guys aren't buying, you know, a $3,500 bore gauge. This one is actually for doing mains. That's why it's so long. And that's why it has this, detent in it, so you can move it. That's so you can get it from next main to next main without snap, like without the gauge going dunk, dunk, dunk. This one here is what we use for doing cylinder bores. It's the same idea, just a littler guy. As you can see, it is not new, but it's still in pretty good shape, still works perfect. So that's all that matters. But it also does not have that detent because you don't need it for cylinders because you can rock it in and out of the cylinder easily enough. So just thought I'd mention. So, like I said, if you like this video, check out the last one.